Adam here with Brooksaw Antiques. Today we have this 1970s Olivetti Lettera 33 vintage ultra portable typewriter. I'm going to show you how to use the functions and make sure they all work. This one was made in Spain, but the Olivetti brand is originated in Italy, and they had a plant in Spain as well that produced the same quality machines. And this one is the continuation of the Olivetti Lettera 32 with a different shell. So it's got a hard plastic with padding on it, and it's got internal metal, so it's hard plastic metal with padding on it. So it's pretty cool. It's got like a Star Wars theme to it, 1970s era. And the Olivetti Lettera 32 is widely known as one of the best typewriters of all time. And this is basically the same mechanics, same performance as that with a different shell. And it's got unique fonts, so stick around to see the print section when I get to it. Up top is the left margin. I'm going to set that on 0 and the right one around 75 to 80. And this is the paper support arm that flips up from the back. And this is the paper bale that sits on top. It's got 2 adjustable rollers and a scale. Once you hear the bell, you're near the end of the margin. Hit the line space, get you back to the beginning, and skips 1, 2, or 3. When you have it on single, it skips 2 half spaces. When you have it on 2, it skips 3 half spaces. And when you have it on 3, it skips 4 half spaces. Oops. We're going to keep that on 2, which skips 1.5, and that's just because of the unique font. So it says 2, but it's really 3 half spaces, so I say 1.5. But anyway, the font's a little taller than your typical font, so I just have it spaced at 1.5. I'm just going to hit these last characters. As you can see, all the keys type nice and none of them skip or stick. I'll type a sentence in red on the next line and switch from black to red. There's a switch on the right side. Flip that down to the red indicator. It prints the bottom portion of the ribbon, which is red. When you have it in the middle, it prints no ink at all. It just leaves a stencil for copying purposes. When you have it at the top on the blue indicator, it prints the top portion of the ribbon, which is black. We're going to move that down for red. Beautiful. Light touch. It feels like you're typing on a laptop. Super modern feel to it. And it's 1970s, so it's not modern at all, but they somehow designed a machine to be just futuristic, and still to this day it still feels like this could have been made in 2026. And surprise surprise, we have cursive slash script typeface, prints 11 characters per inch. Beautiful print, very rare. I've never had a 33 or anything besides a 32 with script. I don't know how many of these they made, but it's really nice. Excellent condition. The platen feels like it's brand new. It sounds really good. It's got a really low pitch sound, like a brand new platen would have. To pull the page out easy, there's a switch on the right side. Flip that forward. It unlocks the rollers underneath the platen, allowing you to pull the page out easier. Load thicker paper like carbon copy or cardstock. Make sure you flip that back before you load the next page, or else it won't load correctly. Going to flip this down for now and put the color back on black. And that's pretty common when you have a script typewriter. They weren't used that often because most school writing and whatever wouldn't let you use cursive. So cursive typewriters were often just stored for a long period of time, and they're often in really good condition. Okay, the shift on each side, a shift lock on the left. To clear that, just hit the shift button again. This is your margin release. When you get to the end of the margin, there's a mechanism that blocks you from printing. Hit that margin release. It does allow you to type all the way to the end. And this one does have a 1 key. Most Olivettis do not have a 1 key, but they did not implement the exclamation point. So for an exclamation point, you put in shift 8, backspace, period, and your traditional 1 is just the lowercase l. The red button is the tab button. Right now we have tabs set on 10 space intervals. So I'm just going to go through and clear each one of them with this lever to the left of the margin release. Barely have to hit it down and it will clear it. Everything on this typewriter is super light and smooth. Now we don't have any tabs set. It's got a pretty good tab break, but I always like to set a tab somewhere in the middle so that way when you hit the tab button, it doesn't go slamming all the way to the end, causing wear and tear on your typewriter. So you just flip that same switch up to set it, and it stops at that spot. Flip it down to clear it on that same lever. Backspace on the right side, light and smooth. Open the hood from the front here. It hooks into the back. It's got that metal plate in there, so it's nice and durable, sturdy, reliable. Doesn't feel like it's going to break like the ones, like the other ones that are just hard plastic. So just a little bit reinforced. All the brand new ribbons loaded on the left, so it's pulling clockwise to the right. If you want to switch that direction manually, the side you want it to go to, there's a little ribbon guide. You just flip it towards the middle and it'll pull to that side. And that's just meant to catch the eyelet at the end of the ribbon and swap it automatically. So you don't have to do that unless you have a problem with your auto reverse. And this is an inconspicuous touch control. It's got 1, 2, 3 options. You either got top, bottom, or middle. And the farther up you go, the more tension there is when you hit the keys. You do have to hit the keys harder for them to print, but they respond faster. This has a very light touch, so this could be very important. If you keep having errors because it's so light, then I would just increase that a little bit. I had it in the middle and I was typing really nice with it. And if you really like the light touch, you can go all the way down. We're going to hook this back in like this and push it, oops, wrong one, and push it down to lock that in. This is your carriage lock. Now this is one of the worst carriage locks. The Olivetti Letteras all pretty much had it similar, but it's very flimsy, and if you ship a typewriter with that lock engaged, then there's a good chance that you'll bend it out of shape and then it will get stuck because it's so flimsy. And even if it's got a little bit of grease on it that hardened up, that won't work. Just the way it's mechanism. It's basically, if you're carrying this around in your case and you're not shipping it, then that's what you use it for. But if you're shipping a typewriter, or probably if you're checking your bag and this is in a checked bag and you're on an airplane, I would not engage that. I would find a different way to ship it. Like there's all kinds of tricks for the carriage release to be engaged, and you shrink wrap it, etc. And this is your carriage release on the right side. It's got one on each side. Very smooth, tight, and light. And if you push the button on the end of the left knob, it disables the spacing when you turn the knob, so you can get to an exact spot on the page. You let it go, you get the clicks. Each one of those clicks is a half a space. Same concept if you move the line space selector all the way back to 0. It disables the spacing. When you move it to the 1, you get the clicks. And if you put it in between the 0 and the 1 and you hit the line space, it'll allow you to get a half, just 1 space instead of 2. When you have it on the 1, you get 2. And that's so you can get in between the lines without losing your line. If you have it all the way back to the 0 and you turn it, then you lost your line right there. But if you just put it right in between and then you hit the line space, then you can get in between the line if you want without losing the line. And that's it. Now available on eBay or Etsy or my new website, brooksawantiques.com.